Let's go Bucks. That's been the theme during this homestand at PNC Park. And a lot of young fans in attendance enjoying the final T-shirt Thursday of the 2010 season as the Bucks try to groom the birds out of the bird. It's Game 3 between the Cardinals and the Pirates. Hi again, everyone, along with Steve Glass. I'm Tim Neverett. Happy you're watching Pirates baseball with us today. The Pirates have won 5 in a row. They've won the first 2 in this series. They go for their second consecutive series sweep. During this stretch, Steve, they put up some very good numbers.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun, Tim, and these young Pirates really finding out the taste of winning. That's very important for them. Take a look at the chart, the combination of pitching and hitting. The offense has been fine, 6 runs a game. That'll work. Extra base hits, good average. But 2.2 walks. I really like that on the pitching side of that particular chart. So it has been a lot of fun. These guys are enjoying this string.
We've seen some very good individual performances, too. Our PNC achievement for the achiever in us all. Andrew McCutchen getting it done. Jose Tabata has been terrific. How about John Bowker?
Well, he's been fun to watch. You know, he just might be the perfect fit for this ball club and this ballpark. He likes to elevate the ball. Pirates are very excited to get him. I think the Giants didn't care about losing him, so there's a reason you go after players like John Bowker. He'll get a long look the rest of this year and into spring training.
Let's take a look at this afternoon's pitching matchup. Jeff Suppan, former Pirate, taking on his old team. Brian Burris, the left-hander, gets the start.
This should be an interesting matchup. Suppan, great career numbers against the Pirates, 15-3 against the Bucks. Struggled this year, good last time out. Brian Burris has been very good last 3 trips, just 4 runs allowed, and again, that good control number, last 3 starts, just 1 free pass.
Suppan 1-7, Burris 3-3. There have been some terrific moments on the diamond during the course of this homestand at PNC Park. Pirates got a sweep of the Diamondbacks. They go for a sweep of the Cardinals next. First pitch of the ball game this afternoon from Brian Burris to Skip Schumacher is a strike. It's 81-degree afternoon here at PNC Park. Cardinals and the Pirates in a hurry to get this day game underway today.
I tell you, it's a warm first day of autumn, isn't it? First day of fall. It is
beautiful.
Smoking.
Here's the 1-1 to Schumacher. That's high and inside, 2-1. Brian Burris out of Troutdale, Oregon, taking on Skip Schumacher, 267 hitter. 5 homers, 40 runs knocked in.
We've been talking about Brian's last 3 starts, very good. Arizona, Cincinnati, and Atlanta. 3 starts, giving up a total of 4 runs.
Ground ball to Walker. And quickly 1 away in the top half of the first inning. Following Schumacher in the order, Tony La Russa sends his lineup out this way. Joe Mather and Albert Pujols and Matt Holliday. Look at Pujols, 24 career home runs at PNC Park, most by any opposition hitter. Stavanoa, Escalso at third base, Pagnozzi behind the plate, Green, and then Suppan, the pitcher, batting ninth, facing Brian Burris.
Not all that many familiar names in this Cardinal lineup.
5 of the 9 in the lineup are September call-ups. Some have had time, like Joe Mather, during the course of the season. Tyler Green has had time back and forth between AAA Memphis and the Cardinals. Matt Pagnozzi, very little. Pagnozzi doing the catching today for the 2nd day in a row. Yadier Molina's had a knee issue, was sent back to St. Louis yesterday to get it looked at.
Well, Jeff Suppan, way back, was a Cardinal.
And that one inside and low. Soup started this year with the Brewers. Back with the Cardinals. So Joe Mather, 1 out of 2 in the series, hitting .204 for the Cardinals this year. Popped him up. And Ryan Doma didn't see it, but good thing for Pedro Alvarez, he did. And there are now 2 away defensively behind Brian Burris in the outfield today. Tabata, McCutchen, and Bowker. That's been a familiar sight lately, those 3. Alvarez and Cedeno, along with Walker and Jones around the infield. Doma doing the catching.
It's been kind of an interesting mix defensively because there have been some errors made. The numbers are there, but there's also been some very spectacular defensive plays by the Pirates. So you'd like to have the ledger tipped over more to consistency and take the gems, defensive gems, when they come. And that's what you aim for. So if you can put steady defense along with what the Pirates have been doing with their pitching and hitting, you got a nice package working.
Albert Pujols takes a strike. Pujols, big numbers. Leads the National League in home runs with 39 and in RBIs with 109.
He saw some real good hooks, some real good curveballs from Charlie last night.
Yeah, tip of the cap to Charlie Morton, his best outing of the season, and one of his 2 best outings as a Pirate. Go back to his last outing against Chicago last year, where he pitched shutout baseball against the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and you add it with last night's performance, and I would have to say those are 1 and 1A as far as Charlie's stint with the Bucks. 2-1 to Albert. 2-2. Burris got it past him.
You know, you throw the ball 89 miles an hour, it's still pretty quick to home plate, especially when it's set up perhaps with something off speed. Makes all the difference in the world.
Albert went 0 for 2 with a walk last night. And he takes right on the corner, but just on the wrong side of the corner. The home plate umpire, James Hoy, says that is a ball.
Hoy just missed.
Payoff pitch. Foul away.
Padres.
You like his last name, don't you?
Hoy.
James Hoy. Las Diaz at first. Wally Bell is at second base, and the crew chief, John Hirschbeck, is there at third. 2 outs, nobody on, and the payoff pitch again to Albert Pujols.
Hoy. Oh, darn it.
That is a base hit.
Didn't work.
He's going to do that to you. Just you want to limit the opportunities. You hope that there's nobody on base or in scoring position when he does, but he's one of the best players in the game. He's going to get his hits. Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat over the last 10 days. Batting average, Matt Holliday on the list with Yadier Molina in the 400s. Will Venable of San Diego on top of that list. Carlos Gonzalez of Colorado near the top of a lot of lists. But Matt Holliday right there at 405. Barrel Automotive. Definitely worth the click at barrel.com. 2 outs, Pujols at first. Burris pitched to Holliday. Matt Holliday with a 14-game hitting streak going. It's a season high for him. During the month of September, it's one of the highest numbers of consecutive hits in a row, or longest hitting streaks in Cardinal history.
Now, what happens if he runs the table and hits till the end of the year? Now, do the off-season months count? In other words, you can say I've not gone hitless in 3.5 months. I guess not. Maybe.
Well, yeah,
you can say.
I mean, technically he'd be right, but
yeah, but
statistically,
they're going to look at you funny.
Longest hitting streak in Cardinal history during the month of September, 1964. Curt Flood hit in 18 straight. Up in the air to right field. John Bowker settling underneath it. He's got it. Pujols is stranded. 1 hit, 1 left after a half inning. No score at PNC Park.
PNC, for the achiever in us all. By Barrel Automotive, barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward.
Sunny and warm Thursday afternoon at PNC Park. Pirates and Cardinals wrapping up this 3-game set. Bucks looking for the sweep. They get set to face Jeff Suppan. Andrew McCutchen will lead off, followed by Tabata and Walker. McCutchen has reached base safely in 17 straight games. He looks at strike one. Lately we've seen Andrew aggressive after that first pitch strike.
Yep. And that would have been a nice one to take a run at. 84 miles an hour right down Central Street.
1 ball and 1 strike. Andrew last night, a single, a double, a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Scored twice. Game 1 he didn't get a hit, but he walked and scored, so he's had a contribution one way or another each and every game. 1 and 2 to Andrew McCutchen.
He's working against the old veteran. Say that with respect, Jeff Suppan. He's been good for a lot of years. 136 major league wins, 15 and 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's been a struggle in 1 and 7, but last time out better. 1 run in 5 innings for Jeff. Good guy, Jeff Suppan. Good pro.
2 and 2 now to McCutchen.
Not gaudy numbers for sure. He was hurt a good bit of this season, so just start number 13. Came over from the Brewers, as Tim said, but a lot of time in the Cardinals back a few years ago.
2-2 pitch is lined to right. And it is caught. Nice sliding catch by Stavanoa. Ball hung up for him. Oh, we just saw Andrew McCutcheon hit now. Jose Tabata's turn. He'll be followed in the order by Neil Walker, Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez, Ryan Domet, John Bowker, who's become a regular in the lineup lately, Ronnie Cedeno, and Brian Burris hitting ninth. Jose Tabata in an RBI triple his first at bat in last night's game. Drove in a run. 34 runs batted in right now for the rookie, Jose Tabata. One out, nobody on in the 1-0 pitch. Up in the air to right field. Stavanoa started back. Now he will backpedal into the shade and on the warning track makes the catch. Cardinals defensively this afternoon. A little different look. Holiday is in left. Mathers in center today. Stavanoa is in right. Descalso makes just his second big league start at third base. And Matt Pagnozzi, the nephew of Tom Pagnozzi, longtime Cardinal catcher, is behind the plate. And Mather came in halfway through the game last night. Starts in center. Colby Rasmus gets the day off. 2 outs for Walker. Takes low and away. Neal had a hit in the 6th inning. Neal scored twice and drove in a run last night. 1-0 pitch. Strike in the corner.
Yeah, you talk about milestones a lot in this game, Tim. Jeff Suppan needs 4 1/3 innings to go over 2,500 major league innings. It's a great milestone. Now, it's way down on the list. There's a lot of people that have thrown a ton more, but still a real benchmark and a little note that will tell you how consistent he has been around his time in the big leagues. 2,500 major league innings coming up for Jeff Suppan.
He's been an innings eater. 2-1 to Neal. 2-2 now.
Well, you see, when you watch him warm up or wind up and throw, it's a very uncomplicated, very simplistic type of a delivery. So it's nothing rushed. So he's able to have that concert between arm and body. You want them together when the ball is released. Jeff Suppan has done that for a lot of years.
Walker reaches for it. Bounces it down to Pujols. He'll take care of it himself. Pirates done in order in the first inning. Played 1 full, and there's no score. Selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, thepirates.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Next, Stavanoa First pitch he sees from Brian Burris, bangs it into left field for a leadoff single.
Picking up where he left off last night, came into the game and blistered a double.
He did.
By the way, you talk about classics from the MLB shop. How about that railroad conductor's hat they wore in '79? That's a classic.
Yeah, the pillbox hat.
That had a lot of names.
I'll bet. But you still see them everywhere we travel.
Yeah.
You see them in the ballparks. You see a lot of them here. There's one.
There it is, yeah.
Definitely unique. Descalso fouls it off the hands of Doma. And Descalso, I mentioned it. Well, let's take a look at Doma first. I got on the shoulder.
Maybe the shoulder down to the hand. Double whammy. Yeah,
Descalso starting his second big league game at third base. He didn't start at third in the big leagues till last night, but hadn't started a game at third as a professional since A-ball.
Well, he proved that he was there at one point. He made a couple of real nice plays last night.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. The Cardinals are interested in getting a look at his bat. Now, the Cardinals are not eliminated mathematically, but judging from the lineup today, you would feel that they feel they're eliminated.
Probably not about if now, it's a matter of about when.
So they are playing a lot of the younger guys to see what they have. Curveball hit on the ground to Walker to second for one. That's all they'll get. Ball just hit too slowly on the ground. So fielder's choice for Descalso, and out at second is Stavinoa. As you get down to it now, Philadelphia, the hottest team in baseball, they've won 10 straight now and have extended their lead over Atlanta to 6. Reds up by 8. 10 to play after today. So it's pretty much over for the Cardinals. And then the West, still wild. And still a chance for Colorado. San Francisco now a half game out. San Diego moved back in front after the Cubs beat San Francisco last night and the Padres beat the Dodgers.
Done deal, East Central.
1 out, 1 on. Runner takes off. Swing and a miss for a strike and a stolen base for Descalso.
Yeah. No need for Ryan to throw that ball. He never had a chance. The guy was off to the races. Wow, he's a third of the way to second base. That's not a good reflection on that aspect of Brian's game. He's a left-hander. He's looking over there. Now, the other side of that coin, if the guy just flat out guesses, that'll happen every once in a while.
Descalso against his first career stolen base. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. Matt Pagnazzi behind 0-1. I mentioned earlier he's the nephew of Tom Pagnazzi, if that name sounds familiar to Cardinal fans. Pagnazzi was a fixture behind the plate for St. Louis for a number of years, made the All-Star game one year.
Yep, a good one.
Here is his nephew Matt getting an opportunity. Burris will look Descalso back to second. Pirates winning last night 11-6. And it was just the third time that the Cardinals had allowed double-digit runs against them since the All-Star break. On the 3rd of August, Houston put 18 on them. Washington put 14 on them on the 28th of August, and the Bucks 11 last night. The Cardinals have been struggling on the road, and they went to Cincinnati, Steve, in early August and swept the Cardinals, and that was a very memorable series for a lot of reasons. Not only was the baseball very good during the series, they had a bench-clearing brawl. And Jason LaRue, the backup catcher, ended up kicked in the head several times by Reds pitcher Johnny Cueto and suffered what LaRue said was his 20th concussion. And LaRue has announced his retirement.
Legal action to follow, perhaps, for workman's comp or something.
We'll see. But he was here earlier in the week to visit a concussion specialist here in Pittsburgh. 3-1, popped up foul and out of play. 3-2 the count out of Pagnazzi.
Well, bit of a headline coming in from Toronto. Mr. Batista hit number 50. That has been quite a story. Jose Batista. A lot of team stories, including the Cardinals we just talked about. Or the Cincinnati Reds, excuse me, we just talked about. On the individual side, Jose Batista, quite a story. 50 home runs.
Burris, 3-2 pitch. Pagnozzi fouls it away. That's remarkable about Batista. Just having one of those years where everything came together for him. And sometimes it takes the guys a little while before they figure it all out. It's not to say he's going to have 50 home run seasons all the time now, but everybody has a career best year.
Yep. And a lot of people scoff at that word potential. But every once in a while, it takes a while, but that potential is realized.
3-2 call. Strike 3. Got him. Caught Pagnozzi looking. And now there are 2 men out.
Take a look at strikeout number 1 for Brian. Doman setting up on the inside corner. Gets it right about where the glove is. Nicely delivered. Captured by the AGH cam.
So Tyler Green will be intentionally walked, so Burris can pitch to his opposite number, Jeff Suppan,
who handles the ball or handles the bat okay.
Tyler Green started game 1 of this series at second base. Played a little shortstop late in the game last night. He also played third in the first game of the series Tuesday night. He's been around the infield, starting at shortstop today. There is ball 4. So now the Cardinals with 2 men on and 2 outs, and Suppan coming up.
Brian Burris has been doing a terrific job for the Pirates. Not overpowering. He seems to set up the fastball and then he'll work the curve when he needs to. Nice little shovel right there. Athletic move. Brian Burris done a nice job. He's not spectacular, but he's been very workmanlike and he's put up good numbers.
What's changed for him, do you think? Because he's a guy who went to AAA, relieved, started here in the big leagues, was a reliever, started. He seems to have found a niche, at least at this point in the season. But what's changed for him where all of a sudden he's finding that consistency?
Well, it's a guess on my part, but I think when a guy's been around a little bit and he starts throwing strikes, says, hey, this can work if I pitch out in front in the count. I think it starts with the foundation of control. I mean, all these guys have enough stuff. They wouldn't have gotten to the major league level without enough stuff, whether it's dynamic or whether it's just finesse kind of stuff. You've got to have enough on either side, the power or the finesse, to get yourself to the big leagues. And I think once you start throwing strikes, it allows you to believe, hey, I belong here. And once you feel like you belong here, you can do some pretty good things.
1-1 to Suppan, popped up. Neil Walker wants it. And the Pirates second baseman puts it away. Cardinals strand 2. Do get a hit in the second. Still scoreless at PNC Park. today. Good news for him. Successful surgery on his left knee. Had microfracture surgery at the Stedman Clinic in Colorado. He'll have to take about 6 months to recover, but he is expected to be ready to go come spring training. That's our injury update, thanks to Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Garrett Jones to lead off. No score. Bottom of the second inning with Steve Blass, Tim Neverett on a very sunny and warm Thursday afternoon.
I don't know if it's too early to call it Indian summer or not. I guess that's later in October. You got to get a little later on. But oh yeah, nice little last glimpse of summer.
Just an extension of it, which is okay.
Yep.
These guys are in need of a hat.
Everything. The sun shines bright on a winning streak. 5 in a row. The sun's always out.
Jones had 3 hits last night, 3 out of 5. Fouls this one off. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was a good night for Garrett. Had an RBI. Has 78 on the year. Double and 2 singles. And he also came around to score twice. That's one of the things that we talk about every once in a while, the importance of the runs scored. Obviously, you can't win without scoring runs, but there are so many people who are interested in all these fancy stats today, but runs scored is something that really shouldn't be overlooked.
Well, that determines who wins the game, and who wins the game determines who goes into postseason play. So
it's simple.
That's the operative number, operative stat.
2-1 to Jones. 3-1 now. Pedro Alvarez on deck. Boy, Pedro hit a bomb last night.
A couple stingers. Oh.
When he hit to center field. Just a majestic, towering fly ball. 3-1. And Jones to left field. He's got himself a hit.
Good, Garrett. Yeah. Taking what they give you.
He's picking it up here in September.
Full count to Garrett Jones. What do you do? Maybe you shorten up and you don't try to pull that ball. It's outside. Hit it to that part of the ballpark. You really can't do much if you reach all the way out there and try to turn it back around. Your wrist might catch up to it, but many times you bounce a ball to second base.
Jones aboard with nobody out. Cardinal middle infield looking for 2.
A dozen home runs given up by Jeff Suppan. He's vulnerable in that area.
That's exactly how many Pedro has hit. A dozen. .48 runs batted in, considering that's in less than half a season. That's pretty good. 1-0 pitch. Late strike call by James Hoy.
Yeah. You know, there's something to be said, Tim, about the comfort level of a batter in a given situation. As you take a look at this fastball that's just barely called in time. But guys up there with a comfort level, I think it's an easier way to hit. You might get really fooled by the finesse guys, but the guys that throw really hard, that's not comfortable. The comfort guys are the guys that don't throw hard. And I think that's a plus for a hitter. When you're up there and you're not afraid of 98 and 97 miles an hour. And trust me, there's a degree of fear in everybody, whether you're 8 years old or whether you're 35 years old. And when you're facing the guy 98, you're a little concerned. When you're facing the guy 85, 86, you're a little concerned, but not nearly as much. That's not going to really take your head off. It'll hurt, but you'll get by a lot easier with 84 than 98. And so you're relaxed. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say. And a relaxed hitter is a better hitter.
2-2 now to Alvarez. Pedro, 4 runs batted in last night. 2-run double and a 2-run home run. Looking out at the veteran Jeff Suppan. Count is full.
And now you can't trust Jeff to just come in automatically with the fastball. He's been around too long. I mean, you might see the fastball, but there's just as good a chance that you won't, because he knows what kind of power Alvarez has. He knows if he throws the fastball, he's kind of giving into what Pedro's looking for. So we'll see what he delivers.
Jones takes off. Strike 3 called. Throw down. Jones is safe. Ball into center field. So Garrett will stay at second. And Pedro goes down looking. Stolen base for Garrett Jones, his 7th of the season.
The pitch to Pedro. Down and in. He gets the pitcher's kind of call and a pitcher's kind of delivery. And Garrett Jones, the reason he is going is that Jeff doesn't strike all that many people out anymore. He used to get his share. So you figure contact. If the ball's in the strike zone, it's going to be put in play somewhere. So that's why you send a guy that doesn't run all that often.
Chance for Ryan Doumit to drive in a run. Still scoreless. Bottom of inning number 2. 1-0 to Ryan Doumit. 116 games. This is his 117th game. It is a career high for him now. He has never played in more than 116 in any season in the big leagues. He's had injury issues in the past. And even with spending a couple of weeks on the disabled list this season, Steve, Doumit has been more durable this year than he's ever been.
Yeah. And all of spring training, everybody's saying if we keep Ryan healthy, his bat will speak for itself. Well, he has had years where he has missed big chunks of time.
Last year he missed 73 games, broken bone in a hand. And this year not too serious in terms of injury, but.
And there's always been a lot of speculation about Ryan Doumit. The pluses, the minuses, people love him, people hate him. Trust me, there is interest around the big leagues with the teams. There's interest in Ryan Doumit.
3-1 now to Doumit. For Snyder, sitting this one out today. But a lot of the talk has been about the fact that Doumit has improved as a catcher since Snyder's been around. And they've worked together and worked with the pitchers, try to get them better prepared. All 4.
And when you explore that subject, you want them, first of all, to be mechanically sound behind the plate. Yeah, if they can work with the pitchers, and that's a plus, that's great. But your pitchers have your pitching coach. You want your catchers first and foremost to be able to handle all the mechanical things back home, blocking the plate, making good throws. You want the physical parts of his game to be rock solid. And if he can extend himself to his pitchers in a positive way, well, then you get the real plus.
John Bonker is swinging a hot bat lately. Takes a strike. 1 out and 2 on for the Pirates. Bonker hoping to get a run in. Hit his 2nd home run as a Pirate in last night's game. Also had a single and a double.
Yeah, 3-hit night for John.
Looks at strike 2. Off-speed pitch from Suppan. Jones the runner at second base. Doumit at first. Suppan pitching ahead here. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, last night I got excited watching John Bowker, and I'm trying to come up with this little phrase for him: Johnny be good. Johnny B. Bowker. Now Slick over on the radio side won't work with me. I'm hoping you'll help me out on this.
Now by Slick you mean
Greg. And the Slick, yeah.
Slick or Silk?
Yeah. Kind of like Slick. But Silk works.
Toward the middle. There's 1. There's 2. The Cardinals get the twin kill and get out of the inning. We will head to the 3rd. We'll come back. No score. Cards and Bucks.
And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day.
Well, that's what they hope today. That the broom is the operative tool at the end of the ball game. Pirates looking for their second straight sweep. This day in Pirates history brought to you by Day Automotive, September 23rd, 1983. The hitman Mike Easler and Tony Pena hit back-to-back home runs in a 10-1 win at Montreal. Easler had 3 hits, including a grand slam. Pena had 2 home runs in the game.
Wow. Look those bring out the bats. By the way, congratulations on that tongue twister in the open. The Bucks broom out the birds in the Berg or something.
Oh, yeah.
Bucks?
It's called alliteration.
Okay.
Skip Schumacher leading off, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Remember the Sporting News used to have those headlines, Bucks Bailey, Bops Braves. They used to put it all together. Is that alliteration?
That would be the same. 1-1 pitch. Well, you mentioned the Sporting News, Steve, and on the newsstands today is this week's edition of the Sporting News, and in it is an article about the smartest athletes in sports. I believe it's the top 20. And Ross Ollendorf made the list, of course. You'd think he would.
What do they base that on? Do they go around and test these guys?
A lot of things.
Scholastic background.
I'm sure, yeah. Craig Breslow of the Oakland A's was number 1 on the list. He has a degree from Yale. Skip Schumacher walks to lead off the inning. But it's in like molecular biology and some other thing.
Wow.
You talked to Ross about his major.
It was math, wasn't it?
It was some sort of finance and engineering.
Nuclear science, all that stuff.
Well, it wasn't phys ed, put it that way.
Okay. He didn't take home and family living to graduate.
No, he did not. No basket weaving for them. But a very interesting article, certainly. And Ross is number 3 on the list of the top 20 smartest athletes in sports. Sporting News today on your news shelf. On the shelves of your newsstand, I should say. Joe Mather.
Well, I'm thinking back to some of the guys I played with.
Probably wouldn't make the list.
There's a few that would not be on the list.
Burris pitch.
And they're saying the same thing. I would not be on the list too. My former teammates, trust me.
So you didn't play with any brain surgeons, did you?
No, nor did they.
I've never heard that about you, Steve.
That I wasn't a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
I was as much of a brain surgeon as Foster Brooks. Foster Brooks said, I started out life as a brain surgeon. At those roasts. The minute I looked at him, I started laughing. He might be the funniest man I've ever listened and watched.
Nobody out. Schumacher at first base. Mather at the plate. 1-0 pitch coming from Brian Burris. Mather takes high. 2-0. Mather called up from AAA. Here comes John Russell out. Now here we see John in the 3rd inning making the trip out of the dugout to talk to Brian Burris. And this is something that he has done with Burris and really started doing this with Brian during Brian's start with the Atlanta Braves a couple of weeks back.
Now, this is a former Major League catcher, perhaps, and that's speculation, you never know, might be something altogether different, but might be going out there and say, listen, the reason you've been so good the last 3 starts, you've thrown a lot of strikes, you've pitched out in front. Don't let that get away from you, and don't and stop doing it right now. Yeah, if we can leave that up for just a minute, this is what, I'm terrible at this. Walkie's better. 1 walk in 3, I can turn it off real good. 1 walk and 3 starts.
You're not good at the artwork?
No. Stick people, stick houses.
So Burris looking for a strike here on Mather. And Mather skies this one out of play down the third base side. Ray Searage, pitching coach, and John Russell, skipper, conferring. Ray kind of takes a laid-back approach in a way.
Well, there's a real comfort level with Ray Surge, and a lot of pitchers relate to that. And that's not saying that he can't come out and get in your face. That's not the case at all, because he can.
One in the dirt, 3-1. Yeah, Surge, a former lefty. Well, he's still a lefty, but a former left-handed pitcher for the Dodgers and the Brewers. Good guy. Guys really like him. They seem to have responded well.
You really, it's such a gray area to know how much influence a pitching coach has on a particular pitcher, unless it's some drastic change.
Full now, 3-2. What did you like about relationships with pitching coaches?
I like the fact that if you're doing well, he left you alone. If you're doing right, leave me alone. Just let me keep on doing that. And the best advice I ever got was from Don Osborne when he said, "Throw your stuff over the plate and find out if it's good enough. And if it's not, you're still young enough to go out and get a real job."
Yeah, that made sense.
And there's a good bit to that, because eventually you got to find out if your stuff's good enough, and you'll never find out if you don't throw it over the plate.
Well, you'd have to think that
if you're a nibbler, go fishing, right?
Yeah, if you're a nibbler, go fishing, because you'll have plenty of time to do it. 46 pitches for Brian Burris. Not necessarily what we've seen of him over his last 3 starts. 3-2 again, fouled back. But over his last 3 starts, he's had an ERA of 1.8. It's been good.
And he does not want to let Mr. Mather on base in front of Mr. Pujols.
Albert out on deck.
A little two-hopper to Neil Walker would work. This guy is the man. To me, he's the best player in the National League.
Schumacher off of first base, held on by Jones. 3-2 pitch. Pulled foul out of play. It's going to make the upper deck.
You can't pull it much further foul. It should go straight back. Extended at bat for Joe against Brian.
Tony La Russa, the skipper. This one fouled down the third base way. La Russa's won 2,629 games over the course of his career. He's lost 2,290, but winning percentage very good. He's done an excellent job in the postseason as a manager. You might look at some of the things that you'll see out of the Cardinals can be unorthodox at times, but you can't argue with the results.
Well, and you talk about smart players. Well, this guy has a law degree, Tony La Russa.
3-2, popped him up.
Nice going, Brian. That's a real good job of staying with us at bat.
Cedeno records the out.
We're a whole different feel to this half inning now. Instead of 2 on, nobody out to Albert. He's up there. You got a man on. Albert's up there, but it doesn't have the same feel of danger and dread.
Let's take a look at our AT&T Mobility trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. In 1900, Steve may remember this. In 1900, the St. Louis franchise became the Cardinals. How were they previously known?
I'm going to look that up. I've got this in my brain here. I'm just doing a little research for confirmation.
Okay. Like the way back when the Yankees used to be the Highlanders, and the Red Sox used to be the Pilgrims. Way back.
Steelers used to be the Pirates.
That's right. I remember that. I remember reading that. Pirates were the Alleghenies, weren't they?
Yep. This was in the city of Allegheny. It was on this side of the river.
1887, long time ago. Pujols to left field and deep. Ball going back toward the corner. Tabata looks up. It is gone. Career home run number 406 for Albert Pujols, and it's 2-0 Cardinals.
His 40th of the year, and he hit it in the right spot. He didn't get all of it. Albert would tell you, he'd be the first one to tell you, I didn't get all of it, but he hit it down close enough to that yellow foul pole where that home run wall kind of ducks in. If that's anywhere but where that fence starts to jut in, Taba's going to catch it, but he got it in that neighborhood, got it over the fence.
Albert knew it. National League leader in home runs and runs batted in. So home run number 40 and RBIs 110 and 111. Matt Holliday takes strike one. Holliday 0 for 1. Again, a 14-game hitting streak. If he gets a hit today, he would tie 5 other Cardinals for the third longest September hitting streak in franchise history. Since 1952, Stan Musial, Kurt Flood. Musial did it in 53, Flood in 67, Lou Brock also in 67, Joe Torre in 1971, and Ted Simmons in 1973. 0-2, and Holliday hammers this one. This will be chased down by Andrew McCutchen off the front of the bullpen. And a double for Matt Holliday. He now has a 15-game hitting streak, and he now leads the National League in doubles with 45.
Burris delivers this pitch kind of out of way, and he just turns it back around. That's how strong he is. Not a great pitch, but he had to reach and bring it back. Found the gap in left center field. That ball might have been hit better than the Albert Pujols home run.
That was a laser beam that he hit out there left center field. Stavanoa had a single his first time up in the second inning. Now the pressure on the Pirates offense to get going as we move along in the ball game. Top of the third inning. Stavanoa to right center. So the Cardinals hitting him where they ain't. Stavanoa heading for second, rounding third, and scoring is Matt Holliday. It's now 3-0 Cardinals.
And who is this Nick Stavanoa? Came into the game last night, an impressive double, and now 2 for 2. Single, double this afternoon. Might be a name you need to remember for the Cardinals. Stavanoa.
Hit the ball where it was pitched.
Finding the gaps. Left center and now right center.
Stavanoa does a lot of things.
And he runs well on top of, well, it's one of the things he does well.
One of the other things he does is he is the Cardinals' emergency catcher. And with Yadier Molina a little bit banged up right now, there's Steven Jackson starting to warm. Not a good sign for Burris.
Emergency bullpen.
Yeah, but with Molina a little bit gimpy. You have Brian Anderson who can catch, who's backing up Pagnazzi today. But should they get into some sort of trouble, and Tony La Russa likes to make lineup changes, you never know. He might leave himself short a guy sometime, and Stavanoa would be the guy they'd call on if they ran into trouble.
Isn't it great? Every major league team, everybody around each team loves to speculate who would be the emergency catcher, who would be the guy that they would have to bring in an emergency. And the fans and the people around seem to want to see that every once in a while. How can a guy handle it when he's not a regular catcher? It promotes a little interest.
Dan Descalso looking at Brian Burris' 25th pitch of this inning.
It all started with a free pass to Skip Schumacher. Free passes.
Right down the right field line, a fair ball. Stavanoa rounding third. He'll score easily, and into second with a double is Descalso. And Descalso, his third career run batted in. It is 4-0 Cardinals. And the leash on Brian Burris just got extremely short.
So hard to assess a pitcher that you haven't seen a lot of. Just the 11th start. You want to get excited, and you should after 3 real good starts, and then you see this kind of thing happening. Have we been premature, or is this just an aberration? Every pitcher has a bad start now and then. Boy, analyzing these guys, assessing them is not the easiest thing to do. We won't assess Brian Burris anymore this afternoon because he's out of there.
John Russell with the hook. He's coming to get him. Columbia Gas 8-1-1 call to the pen has been made. Right-hander Steven Jackson takes over the pitching duties when we return. Glove set, courtesy of Seven Springs Mountain Resort. Stay warm and show your Pirates pride all winter long. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. Come on out, get your Pirates scarf and glove set tomorrow night. Pirates and the Astros. Big final weekend planned of the 2010 season. Scarf and gloves night tomorrow night. Post-game concert with AOR on Saturday. Fan Appreciation Day Sunday. And a very tough day for Brian Burris. He hasn't had one of these in a while. And the way that this scorebook looks, Steve, it's reminiscent of a number of Pirates losses where things have gone fine and then one bad inning.
Yep. And early, many times Pirates forced to play catch-up baseball.
Steven Jackson, the right-hander, facing Matt Pagnozzi. He delivers ball 1. Jackson, the former Yankee farmhand. Pagnozzi 0-2 in just his 3rd big league start since being called up on the 1st of September. 1-1 the count. Pagnozzi appeared in 6 games last season as a September call-up. Went 0 for 3 at the plate. Scored his only major league run on the last day of the season, October 4th. Made his major league debut on the 29th of September of last year. Swinging bunt. Domet calling for it. Throws down to first. Pagnozzi is out, and there are now 2 down. Runner Descalso goes from 2nd to 3rd.
So a lot of mileage for Steven Jackson between Indianapolis and Pittsburgh this year. Trip number 4.
Up and down, up and down. First time he called up, the ball club was in Atlanta. He and his wife drove straight there.
When you get the call,
you get the car keys.
That's right. Get going. Get going.
Tyler Green, strike 1. As a young player, and I think you'd agree, that's why you play, because you want to make it to the major leagues.
You want to get that call. And everybody remembers when they get it.
1-1 to Green. Green intentionally walked his first time up. What do you remember about your first call to the big leagues?
I remember it very well. It was in Columbus, Ohio. Just to be real quick, we'd driven all night from Syracuse after a AAA game, and I was sleeping 10 o'clock in the morning, and the phone rang. And this man asked my wife, I'd like to speak to Steve. She says, well, he's sleeping. Well, I really need to talk to him. She said, didn't you hear me? He's sleeping. I said, young lady, this is Joe Brown. We want to bring him to the big leagues. Get your out of bed. And off we went. The most exciting trip by automobile you can take, going to the big leagues.
Green to left center. Tabata circling behind it, makes the catch, and Jackson puts out the Cardinal fire, but 4 runs come in after 2.5 innings. Cardinals 4, Pirates nothing. Today, and the only other day game going on, Toronto leading Seattle 1-0. The bottom of the 4th inning, needs one more for another 200 hit season. Well, high back at you on your first game,
and come on back. Don't be a stranger. All right, there's Bucko again.
Buccos need to get some runs for him. Along with Steve Blash, Tim Neverett here at sunny PNC Park. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 4-0 Cardinals. We should also mention in that game today between Seattle and Toronto, Steve mentioned it earlier, that Jose Bautista has hit a solo home run, his 50th of the year. He leads Major League Baseball in that category, 10 more than Albert Pujols. Cedeno pops it up. Skip Schumacher makes the catch. Well, we asked you a question, Steve. You thought about it?
Yep. It's the St. Louis Steamfitters.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. St. Louis Steamfitters, he says. Our AT&T trivia question. 1900, St. Louis franchise became known as the Cardinals. How were they previously known? Is he right? No, they were the Perfectos. Steamfitters.
They were the Browns before the Browns were the Browns that went to Baltimore.
They were the Perfectos.
Brown stockings.
Brown stockings.
Perfectos. That sounds like a cigar brand.
So if you name a team the Brown Stockings, that's before anybody even knew what sports marketing was. Knew that you could sell a brand, market a logo. The Brown Stockings.
Remember when the Padres came into existence, they had those brown, unexciting uniforms. The Friars.
Mustard yellow and brown. Look like human hot dogs running around there. 0-2. Jason Jaramillo hitting in the pitcher's spot.
Jackson goes 2/3 of an inning. Let's see, Chan Ho Park.
1-2 pitch. And strike 3 called, and Jaramillo goes down on strikes. Suppan gets his second strikeout of the day. Both of them have been looking.
In the outside corner.
JJ knows he's all done for the day. It's tough work when you have to pinch hit early in a ball game and you strike out. Then there's nothing you can do the rest of the day. Andrew McCutchen trying to get things going. 2 men out, bottom of the third. McCutchen flying to right field. Nick Stavanoa made a nice sliding grab to take a hit away.
By the way, speaking about the rest of the day, there's going to be a lot of folks here at our ball game. Going to be hanging around. It's going to be busy on the north side. Pitt football team hosting the Miami Hurricanes tonight. By the way, still got time to come out, catch the rest of the ball game, and hang around the North Shore. Lots to do.
Day.
Lots to do.
It's the smart thing to do if you're a sports fan. Pull off the doubleheader. I did that last year. And on Saturday, we had a game here against the Padres, and then Pitt played Navy at night. I went to both. Thought it was a great day. Strike 1, 3-1. Can't beat this kind of a day. 81 degrees at game time. Light breeze. 3-2 now to McCutchen.
Take a look at the skyline in the daytime. Looks just as good as it does at night.
There comes the 3-2 pitch from Suppan. McCutchen looks at it low, ball 4, 2-out walk. The Pirates don't have to get it all back at once, maybe a little bit at a time, trying to chip into this 4-0 lead. Big blow so far. Albert Pujols, 40th homer of the year. Drove in Schumacher, and then back-to-back-to-back doubles produced 2 more runs. Holiday, Stavanoa, and Descalso. There's Tabata. He's 0 for 1, flying to right. McCutchen back. Andrew McCutchen with 31 stolen bases in 41 attempts. Jose Tabata. Excellent contact hitter. Takes low for ball 1. Since the All-Star break, Jose is now second in the National League in hits with 82. Behind only Colorado's Carlos Gonzalez, who has 86 since that time. He's been among the elite in terms of numbers of hits since his call-up on June 5th. He's tied for 6th in the National League with 110 hits, trailing only Gonzalez, who has the most with 124. Adrian Gonzalez of San Diego with 115. Matt Holliday of the Cardinals also with 115. Ryan Braun and Joey Votto with 112. So Jose Tabata is in that category as far as a hit producer.
Good stuff from Pirate left fielder. Saw a little conference between the technician and the apprentice. Ignazi going up to talk to Jeff Suppan.
So the first diving back is McCutchen.
This is where a veteran like Jeff Suppan, he's got a 4-run lead. He knows that. He knows how to pitch with a lead. His priority is a strike, but not necessarily down the middle, just for the sake of throwing a strike.
Diving stop. Descalso up and throws him out. Pirates strand a man after 3 innings, and Dan Descalso, just his second game at third base since A-ball, makes the stop on Jose Tabata and throws him out. starts, managed 141 in the third innings pitched. So look at that strikeouts to walk ratio, nice. 113 to 38. That's absolutely terrific. Nathan Atkind, subject of our easytouse.com minor league connection.
Chan-Ho Park coming on to make his 21st appearance. He got knocked around big time when he first joined the Pirates, and as John Russell said, he needed some work. He got some work. He has been really, really good since those first 2 or 3 outings. Done a nice job.
A lot of interest in what Chan-Ho Park is going to do for the rest of the season. See if he'll get an opportunity to pick up one more victory. When he does that, it'll be his 124th win. You might say, well, what's the significance of that? Well, right now, he has 123, and he is tied with Japanese-born Hideo Nomo for the most number of wins in Major League Baseball by an Asian-born player. Supot grounds out to Cedeno, 1 away. And Chan-Ho Park with an opportunity to climb that list and get up there all by himself.
Well, this is one of these types of games where it might be in the back of mind, John Russell, that he would qualify for a win. Obviously, the Pirates come back, score a bunch of runs. He could be in the mix to be determined the winning pitcher. So, kind of scenario that could work for Chan-Ho.
Skip Schumacher now, top of the order, swinging a miss. Well, Chan-Ho tells a good story about the first time he came to the United States. 1991, he was a high school student. And he had come over for an international baseball tournament representing Korea. 0-1 is low. Said he went to Universal Studios. A tour of Universal Studios, then went to a Dodger game, and he thought that Dodger Stadium was part of Universal Studios.
It is kind of, isn't it?
It's really nearby. He didn't know the difference. It was his first time seeing a Major League Park, and ironically, it was 1994 when Park was signed out of Hanyang University as a sophomore by the Dodgers.
I wonder what he thought of later on in '94 when they stopped the season.
Thought it was a short season.
Short subject instead of a full-length movie.
Jose Talbot puts that away. 2 men out. Chan-Ho Park, 17-year veteran. He will face Joe Mather. Mather brought back up on Saturday from AAA Memphis. Strike is called. Back on the 17th of April, you may remember the Cardinals were involved in a long extra inning game. Joe Mather actually pitched 2 innings of that game and got the loss. It was the first time where the Cardinals have had a position player take a loss in a game as he lines one to left field since Jose Oquendo had to do it in 1988. And Oquendo, the third base coach, the secret weapon, he's got a loss in his pitching record.
Major league pitcher. Got a decision.
It was against the New York Mets that Mather pitched those 2 innings. And here is Albert Pujols again. He's 2 for 2, single and a home run. He will take a strike. 1-1 to Pujols.
Well, I don't travel with the ball club obviously anymore, so I don't get to know the guys in hotels or traveling, and you get a better sense of who they are and what they're all about. But I had occasion to ask Chan-Ho Park for an autograph for a friend of mine who has had a trip to Korea. He was a fan, pitch missing there, and he couldn't have been more gracious. Not only signed his name on a card for me, but made an inscription to the young man. A neat way to meet somebody for the first time.
A lot of media from South Korea has been around Chan-Ho here this part of the season as they follow his exploits, hoping that it's Park's next win that makes him the all-time Asian-born winning pitcher. So Ichiro with 2 hits today. 10 straight seasons with 200 or more hits. Still a 1-0 Toronto lead in the top of the 5th over Seattle, but
watch out.
Albert's hit. Chan Ho plunks Albert Pujols, and Albert will take his place down at first base.
They want it inside. I don't even know if that's a fastball. That had a little rise to it, like a breaking ball that he never got to. More of a bother to Albert than anything else. That kind of pitch, that kind of contact doesn't do much damage.
It's like a fly buzzing around. Just get out of here. Well, 2 on and 2 out for the Cardinals. They've got a 4-0 lead. Here's Matt Holliday, and he lines one to right center. That's going to get Mather home. Pujols around second. He'll stop at third, and Holliday's got a run batted in. His second hit of the ball game. It's now 5-0 St. Louis.
And that takes him to the 100 RBI mark.
100 even. So the third and fourth hitters in the Cardinal order now with over either 100 RBIs or more. Pujols with 111.
So they've tried to work Holliday away. Second at bat of the day. Well, the first day popped out to right and then took an outside pitch and hit it to left center. This time that pitch is away again, this time to right center. Holliday doing the right thing when you're being pitched away. Get the ball straight away. Stay away from trying to pull it.
Sean Gallagher getting set to come into the ball game at some point.
One of those games where you got a chance to see a lot of arms.
Well, unfortunately, Brian Burris only went 2 1/3, so the bullpen will be asked to cover a lot of innings today. Stavanoa swing and a miss.
This guy's been having a hot bat. By the way, I just want to take a minute to send along best wishes to Ron Hawkins, buddy of mine out in South Hills. He's had some repair work done. Hope you're resting comfortably, Ron, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Good friend.
Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. One way outside, and here comes the runner, and Pujols will be safe. Pujols had a big secondary lead, and once he saw it get away from Doma, and the Doma didn't realize where it was at first, he just kept coming. 6-0 Cardinals.
Well, the whole key is that the ball is behind him. Anywhere to the side, obviously to the front, you can't go anywhere. It freezes him. But when you can't find it quickly enough, here comes Albert. He's way down there. Nothing to lose. And then gets it in.
Was polite enough to put Ryan's mask in an easier place for him to pick up. Either that or just getting it out of the way. To right field, and John Bowker has it lined up. A couple of more runs in for the Cardinals here in the 4th. It is 6-0 St. Louis. runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. No runs on 1 hit for the Pirates. Pujols with a home run. Neil Walker facing Jeff Suppan for the second time. He bounced out to the first baseman, Pujols, in the first inning. He's 0 for 1 today. Neil had an 18-game hitting streak from the 23rd of August to the 12th of September. After that, went into a bit of a slump. He was 0 for 15 at one point. And then got out of that. Things have sort of evened off for him a little bit, hitting .295 coming into this at bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jeff Suppan, 1-7. His only win coming against the Bucks. 2-1. And Walker strokes a single to right field. Leadoff single for Neil. And a man on first base. Former Pine Richland Ram wide receiver. He'll be interested in this. Big games right here on FSN tonight. McDonald's High School football rolls on with a pair of Quad A contenders. The Seneca Valley Raiders invade McKeesport as they look to tame the Tigers. Seneca Valley and McKeesport tonight at 7 on FSN. This is big. Talked to Neil a little while ago about football and does he miss playing? He said, at a certain time of the year when you start hearing about the guys going to early season practices and then the games begin, you start getting a little itch to pay attention. His number one focus, baseball, obviously. 0-1 pitch fouled away by Jones. Neil was on a state championship winning team at Pine Richland High School. There's a windup. Pretty good year. Wins a state title in football, gets drafted in the first round in baseball. I'd say that's a solid year to have. 2004. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Garrett Jones against Jeff Suppan hits him pretty well. 4 out of 7. He has 2 home runs against Suppan, so half of his hits have been long balls. 1-2. This one up in the air to short left field. Holiday running in on it. 1 away. Jones now 1 for 2 on the day. So bring up Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez struck out looking in the second inning. And he struck out with Garrett Jones on the move. Jones was able to steal second base successfully. But Pedro was out. Pedro had a 4 RBI night last night. Pitch from Suppan is drilled to deep right center field. Way back. It is off the railing. Walker's going to get waved around third. He will score it into second with a run-scoring double as Alvarez bucks on the board at 6-1. He hit that about as far as you can without it going out at that point of the ballpark. Right above the Consol Energy sign, off the railing. See this pitch right in the wheelhouse, and Pedro gets the better of it. This will give us a good look at where that ball hit. Looked like it might be headed out, but it stayed to the right of that yellow line and hit the railing and bounced back in play for a double. 18th double of the year for Alvarez. So 1 out, and Pedro in scoring position, and Goldman hits this one up in the air. And backpedaling is the second baseman Schumacher. He'll make the grab, and now there are 2 away. So the Pirates on the board, and Safe Auto Insurance reminds you that you're safe at home with Safe Auto. Proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. RBI number 49 for El Toro. Walker's leadoff single cashes in. Pirates trying to dig into this lead a little bit now. John Bowker get into a 4-6-3 double play, and he pops up to right. Stavino underneath it. Pirates do manage to get one back on the double by Pedro Alvarez. Walker also a hit. End of the fourth. 6-1. And after the game, one of America's favorite pop jam bands, OAR, will be taking the PNC Park stage for the final post-game concert of the 2010 season, playing all their hits, including This Town, Love and Memories, and Shattered. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. After the Bucks and Astros, it's OAR Saturday night. Looking forward to that after the game Saturday. Here is Sean Gallagher. He takes over for Chan Ho Park, who won an inning, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. And 40 appearances this season. Struck out 40, walked 37. Opponents hitting .275 off of Gallagher, picked up from the San Diego Padres. Sean started out what looked to be a promising career as a starter, perhaps, with the Chicago Cubs. Ended up being shipped to the Oakland Athletics and to San Diego as a player to be named later in the deal. Now here in Pittsburgh, his 4th team. First pitch right through his legs and into center field. And Daniel Descalso has himself another hit. A 2-hit afternoon for Descalso. September call-up for the Cardinals. Starts the top of the 5th with a base hit. See, Gallagher here had an opportunity, but the ball just got away from his glove. Matt Pagnozzi, the hitter, the catcher. He's 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. Hit a little nubber right out in front of home plate like a swinging bunt that Ryan Doman hopped on. That was in the 3rd inning. But in St. Louis, many people remember his Uncle Tom, Tom Pagnozzi, who starred behind the plate for the Cardinals for a number of years in the 80s. Throw to first base, and the runner back. Pagnozzi came into the game hitting .250, but he's dropped 50 points after 2 at-bats. That'll happen when you only have 10 at-bats in the big leagues. You've had hits in 2 of those 10 at-bats. Tries to bunt, and bunts it foul. Well, the Pirates trying to cut into this St. Louis lead. Managed to pull off a run. Pedro Alvarez with a ringing double high off the Clemente wall, scoring Walker. Pirates need to hold down the fort here, but a leadoff single by Descalso has runners on again. 0-1. This time it's bunted to Gallagher. He's got 1 play. takes the out there. So the sacrifice moves Descalso down to second base with one out. Well, fans, you can get your first look at the week's biggest games in high school football. Our team hits the gridiron to talk with coaches and break down the key matchups to watch under the Friday night lights. Join us for Trip Total Media High School Edition tonight, 6:30, only on FSN. Every week's a big week on the Prep Gridiron. Gets you covered here on FSN. Three-man booth right now, me, myself, and I, as Steve is out taking care of some obligations. When you're Steve Blass, there's just things that are unavoidable. That should be the name of his book, Being Steve Blass. Pitch high to Tyler Green. Shortstop today with a 2-0 count on it. Green intentionally walked in the second inning, and then he flied to left in the third. Green at the plate and Suppan on deck, one out. Descalso the runner at second base. Gallagher's pitch is high, 3-0. The Cardinals got on the board in the third inning against Brian Burris. Burris, who had a terrific run, and today things fell apart on him early. Only 2 1/3 innings, 4 runs on 6 hits. Burris had been very dependable over his last several starts. There's ball 4, so 2 on, and now the pitcher Suppan up. And with the walk to Green, it's not the worst thing in the world because Suppan would be a double play candidate. And with 1 out, twin kill would end the inning. And Gallagher would like to keep a pitch down to the zone. Be topped by Suppan somewhere. Descalso at second, Green at first. But Suppan will be bunting. Trying to get 2 men in. And the hope here is that the bunt goes right in front of the plate fair. Domit could hop on it and throw down to third. Get the lead runner. Jose Oquendo with the signs on. Suppan knows what they are, so he steps back in. No balls and a strike. Skip Schumacher, leadoff man on deck. 2 on, 1 out for the Cardinals. Suppan, fans on. Throw down to second base. And a high throw. If that throw's on target, they get Descalso. Domit's throw sailed on him. It was just too high. And Cedeno had to climb the ladder to protect that ball from going into center field. But if that ball's on target, Descalso's a dead duck at second base. See Descalso caught leaning the other way, anticipating that bunt to be put down. And this one's bunted a little bit hard. Gallagher turns, goes to third. They get him. Back to first. Too late. Suppan beats him by a step, but they do get the lead runner. And the same situation now, first and second, but there are 2 men out. Suppan from the AGH cam. Puts a little bit too much on that bunt. Right back to the pitcher, Gallagher. Sean, without hesitation, throws a strike to Pedro, and Pedro's thinking 2. Schumacher batting with 2 outs and 2 on. 1-0 to Skip Schumacher. Schumacher 0 for 2. He's walked and scored a run. That came in the third inning. (1-0) ground ball, and that's going to get over the head of Alvarez and into left field. It's going to play to run. Coming in is Tyler Green. This ball off the bat stayed up. Here Here in the elevated perch, I thought that ball was going down, but it stayed up in the air over the head of Pedro. And gets a run in, so it's now 7-1. Nice Searage out for a visit. Pirates have been wearing a path from the third base dugout out to the mound. Gallagher just trying to get out of it here with 2 down. Pirates don't want to let this one get away. It's starting to get that way. 10 hits now for the Cardinals. Only 3 for the Pirates. Offensively, the Pirates starting to see their day of at-bats shortened. Center fielder Joe Mather takes low ball 1. With his 41st RBI, scores Green. Suppan at second, Schumacher at first. Mather is 1 for 3 with a run scored. 1-0 is on the corner for a strike. Cardinals have lost 14 of their last 19 road games. They were right there in contention with Cincinnati the last time they were here in Pittsburgh. Pirates took 2 out of 3 against them in August. It was on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August. Since that point, the Cardinals ship began to list. They find themselves 8 games out to start the day with 10 to play. Fly ball to left. Ball caught by Talbot. Run comes in on 2 hits. 7-1 Cards. Cooper. Don't miss your chance to win a convertible Mini Cooper, courtesy of Mini of Pittsburgh, along with other great prizes during Fan Appreciation Day this Sunday when the Pirates take on the Astros at 1:35. Yep, make sure you get out of the way and register to win the Mini Cooper on the Riverwalk at PNC Park during any of the remaining home games this season. I wonder I couldn't find a parking spot. Parrott took it. Ronnie Cedeno facing Jeff Suppan, bottom of the 5th inning. 7-1 Cardinals. Cardinals have banged out double-digit hits. It'll be Cedeno, then a pinch hitter, Brandon Moss. Cedeno pops it foul and out of play. Moss will get an opportunity. The MVP of the Indianapolis Indians. AAA team, and Pirates made a spot for him on the 40-man roster. Cedeno gaps it to left center, and he's on the move. Ronnie rounding first, heading for second. Holiday's throw is in time to get it. Cedeno out, trying to stretch a single to a double. A base hit for Cedeno, but thrown out. 7-4. And that's too bad, because the Pirates need as many base runners as they can get. But Cedeno thinking here with the ball in the gap, he had enough speed to get to second base. But Matt Holliday ends up throwing a strike to Schumacher. (7-4) in the put-out. Boy, very close on the tag. The ball beat him there. Now Moss lines one right to center on the first pitch he sees. 2 outs. So Moss is out. That'll be the top of the order again. Andrew McCutchen. I'd like to welcome an old friend back to the booth, Steve Glass. Hey, Steve. You made it.
I made it, yes. Yep. Went down, saw my son and some of his troops down there. They're leading the good life. Taking in the ball game.
Oh, you missed a run.
Missed a couple. It was 6-0. Now it's 7-1. Okay, we'll catch up.
Get you caught up during the break. 1-0. Now it's a 1-1 count to McCutchen. Andrews reached base safely in 18 straight with a walk in the third inning, flying to right in the first. One hopper to Green. Only 7 pitches for Jeff Suppan. Pirates didn't make him work too hard that inning. We're on to the 6th. It's 7-1 St. Louis.
Like freeze cam. Albert Pujols at third base makes the break at the right time, gets in on the wild pitch. Critical right here, because he has positioned himself far enough down the line where if the ball stays away from Ryan Doumit, he can make the play. Positioning was critical for him to get in safely, and that's today's freeze cam, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
New pitcher in the ball game, left-hander Will Ledesma. Comes the 5th pitcher used today by John Russell. And his first order of duty is to try to get out Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, and Nick Stavinola. Ledesma, pretty hard throwing left-hander. This is his job this inning, as you look at what these guys have done.
Step right up.
If those three guys do that for the Cardinals, the rest of the order, if they make a contribution, it would be negligible.
It's nice for them just to join the party.
They're complementary pieces at that point. But if the 3, 4, and 5 hitters continue to hit like that, and Stavinola is not normally the 5-hole hitter. It's normally Colby Rasmus, the center fielder, who's off today. But Stavinola, in his place, doing a nice job. In fact, you go back to opening day, Stavinola was in the 5-hole. And you look at the lineup from opening day, and then you look at the lineup and how the game finished last night. The only thing similar was that Rasmus was still batting 5th. Last night's lineup filled with September call-ups for St. Louis after about the 6th inning. Pirates won that game 11-6. They've won the first 2. Won the series, trying to find a way to come back on Jeff Suppan and the Cardinals. This one up in the air to right and deep. Looking up is Bowker. It's gone. Home run. Albert Pujols, his second of the day.
41st on the year.
And his 407th of his career. And that's a milestone homer for him.
Curveball, and not only can the left-handers reach the short porch and right, but somebody as strong as Albert gets it up over the scoreboard.
That's a club record in multi-home run games for Pujols. 39 times he's gone deep, more than once in a game. And with that home run, that's 407 in his career. He is now tied for 46th on Major League Baseball's all-time list with Andrew Jones, who's still active, and Duke Snider. So add Albert Pujols, all-time list, to the 46th spot and counting, with Andrew Jones and Duke Snider.
It didn't make it over by much, but it made it over that railing, and a fan caught that nice catch, and he's got a very valuable souvenir.
6th time this year he's had multiple home runs in a game. Albert cranking it up on a hot Thursday afternoon.
I think we just saw a shot of the man that made the good catch on the home run. See who grabbed it. At the end of it, again, it just makes it up over that railing, that yellow line, but that's all it has to do. And the man in yellow reaching over, yeah, nice catch. He's got an Albert Pujols home run baseball showing it to his buddy. Always have to show it around after you catch it.
Celebrate with an ice cream sandwich.
Why not?
Came prepared with his Pirates umbrella. Three-two is inside, and Holiday walks. Holiday has reached base for the 3rd time today. And Ledesma does not start the 6th inning off the way that he had intended to. His intentions were to get Pujols homered, then to get Holiday. Now Holiday has walked. And the walk becoming a bit of an issue today. It's the 4th walk issued by Pirates pitching. Yes, one of them was intentional, but at the same time, the walks were rather limited over the last handful of games. Ground ball to 3rd. Stavinola is out. Pedro got him. 1 away. Charlie Morton, his start through 6 innings last night, only 1 walk. Paul Mulholland through 7 innings. On Tuesday night, no walks.
Part of the equation.
And Zach Duke on Sunday against the Diamondbacks, 7 1/3 innings, only 1 walk. So it's the age-old adage: limit your walks. Stop giving the free passes, and you'll give up fewer runs. Descalso's had a good game today. Third baseman takes a strike. He is 2 for 3 with a stolen base, an RBI, a double, and a single. (8-1) St. Louis. 2 home runs for Pujols today. Descalso's got himself his first major league 3-hit game. He will drive in Holiday. It's now 9-1.
And a bit of payback by the St. Louis Cardinals after the Pirates won the first 2 games of the series.
Second time Holiday has come around to score a run. Ray Searage comes out. You know, in the Cardinal clubhouse yesterday, it was, I would say, a very somber environment. I mean, they've been struggling lately. They've fallen out of contention, and you can tell, even though they haven't been mathematically eliminated, this team feels like they're out of it. And it was really, I mean, no feel at all in the locker room. Just guys sitting around, not even talking to one another.
Flat.
Very flat. And as a result, they ended up losing 11-6 yesterday. So maybe they felt compelled, after giving up double-digit runs, to come out and do the same today. But yesterday, just really one of the flattest clubhouses I've been in all season. There's Matt Pagnozzi. The pitch to him is low ball 1. You almost had that sense that the guys are in there because they had to be, and they want this season to rapidly come to a close. This one gets away on a swing and a miss. And down to second base goes Descalso. But you go on the Pirates clubhouse, and it's a decidedly different feeling. Again, they had won 5 straight coming into today, and this is a team of young players that, for many, are playing deep into September for the first times in their career.
Well, you feel good, you know, when you're on a little bit of a roll, winning 5 in a row. You just don't want that same atmosphere when you're losing and struggling. You don't want a happy clubhouse. But win 5 in a row, you should feel good about coming to the ballpark.
That's one thing that John Russell has talked about this week, too, feeling a different kind of energy in the clubhouse, feeling that these players do believe that they can win a number of games down the stretch and finish the season strong. They want to have a winning record at home, at least 500 if they can do it. And in order to have a better than 500 record at home,
a sweep,
Pirates would have to win 3 of the next 4, including today's game. So sitting 1 game under at 38 and 39 at PNC Park.
Well, it looks right now like they're going to be 2 under going into the last home series, and they're going to have to sweep the Astros. Math gets easier.
2-2 delivery. That one is high. And it is fun this time of year to look at the scoreboard. Now, things in the East look like they are settling in, with the Phillies and Braves going head to head, and the Phillies have been absolutely hot. 10 in a row for the Phillies. They won 1-0 yesterday. Raul Ibanez doubling in Jason Worth with a game-winning run in the bottom of the 8th. And so that looks like it's going to be decided. Central,
done deal.
You can stamp the Reds, stamp their ticket to the postseason. And when you look at out west, Matt Latos and Hiroki Kuroda, that's the late night game. Padres overtook San Francisco for the West lead by half a game yesterday. Jeff Francis and Ian Kennedy, big game for Colorado. And in the American League East, Tampa Bay got a win after a lengthy rain delay in the Bronx yesterday. David Price and CC Sabathia, that's a big game. Popped up down the left field line, and Tabata will make the catch. So 1.5 games
separates the Rays and New York. Yankees up by a game and a half. And I believe the Rays, by I think it's either 1 or 2 games. I think it's 2 games now. They have the lead in the season series, so they would have the tiebreaker if they finish tied.
They don't do a playoff game, huh?
No, not for the division.
Well, that's wrong. They should have to play.
They're both going anyway.
Yeah.
Whichever one doesn't win is going to win the wild card.
Yeah.
In the American League. Boston is next. They're 6.5 back in the wild card, but they're 8 out in the division. Strike to Tyler Green. I look at the American League East, and we follow it. I have another name for the American League East. It's the Grapefruit League. Because the Pirates play all of them in spring training several times.
Mm-hmm.
Popped up down the right field line, and this one is going to make the seats, and the Parrot got it.
Or he didn't. Did he get it, or did he drop it?
No, he wasn't trying to protect the kid. He was trying to get out of the way. Oh, now he acts tough. Yeah, now after the fact, right here, he couldn't wait to get out of the way.
Oh no, that's shameful.
He said, "I don't care. I'm not going to protect the kids."
So shameful. He's better than that. He is better than that.
He is. 2 strikes on Green. Fernando Salas, a right-hander. The cowardly Parrot.
Action in the St. Louis bullpen. So Jeff Suppan did get his 4 1/3 in for his 2,500th major league inning.
Green strikes out. A couple more runs come in. Albert Pujols another home run through 5.5, 9-1 Cards. Don Schwal, John Smiley, and who's that guy in the back? We're signing autographs. Don Schwal, former Indian, Pirate.
Boston Red Sox, Rookie of the Year, 1961.
John Smiley. Bob Waugh.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
That is a tough game to do.
Signing autographs today.
There he is. See, he's magic. He can appear everywhere.
I mean, double duty today. Pirates legend, Bob Waugh.
Alumni Thursday.
Going to the bottom of the 6th. 9 runs on 12 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run on 4 hits for the Bucks. And right-hander Fernando Salas takes over for Jeff Suppan.
Soup goes 5 innings, gives up a run, as he did in his previous start. 4 hits, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts.
think that Suppan was pitching with some sort of vendetta. We know he's not, but seems to have great success against the Pirates.
Oh, does he ever? Jeff was a Pirate for a time. This would take him to 16-3 lifetime against the Bucks if this holds up.
And since he was traded, go to 15-2. And Tamino lines one to right center field. That'll get down for a hit. Jose now 1 for 3. 66 pitches for Suppan. You go back to another guy, former Pirate, John Tudor, pitched for the Cardinals. And after he was traded, he went on to make 17 starts against the Pirates and went 9-1. Maybe one of the bigger victims was Russ Meyer, traded by the Cubs to the Cardinals, and when he went back and faced the Cubs, 37 starts, he went 24-3 against his old team. Joe La Russa coming to make a change. And our Columbia Gas 8-1-1 call to the pen has been made. Quick day for Fernando Salas.
Life you have to be doing that. I got to be honest. A grown man with a goalpost and a kayak, an inflatable beer can. Great to be in America, isn't it?
Who thinks of such things? John Jay is in right field. He'll hit the 9 spot. And left-hander Trevor Miller comes in. He'll be inserted into the 5th spot of the batting order. Neil Walker up. He'll bat right-handed against the lefty Miller. Just thought he had his hood ornament on the wrong side.
You know, the beer thing's not even fully inflated. I mean, if you're going to do it, go for it.
Yeah, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.
Right? That's it.
Go all the way.
And don't let your goalpost tip.
Right now he's looking wide left.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. What time is it now? It's a long time until 7:30 kickoff out in that kayak. I'm going to tell you that.
A little lonely tailgating by yourself in a kayak.
Maybe that's where he wants to be.
One and one to Walker. Likes hitting here at PNC Park. He's hit safely in 14 of his last 15 here. Base hit in the 4th inning. Came around to score the Pirates' lone run. Driven in by Alvarez double. High off the right field wall. Well, nobody out and a man on. And Walker swings and grounds it toward the middle. That's into center field for a base hit. A multi-hit afternoon for Walker. Pirates back-to-back singles to start the bottom half of the 6th.
gets the hands in, as you can see from the AGH camera, and fights that ball back through the middle for a base hit. Nice work. Still get things done when you're down by 8 runs. Still get some things accomplished. Work on your game.
Tickle Me Elmo on the hood ornament there. That's
I beg your pardon?
That's the second passenger, I guess.
What is that?
Tickle Me Elmo.
Not sure that's any different than the goalpost. I mean, I don't know what I don't even know what that means.
Well, either that or it's a very sunburned young child. One or the other.
There you have it. Flying the rivers. Great afternoon to be out on the water for sure. High 80s.
Get your sunblock on. Yep. Here's the 2-0 to Jones. To the right side, Schumacher goes to second for 1, and that's going to be a double play. 4-6-3 it goes. Safely at third is Tabata. 2 outs, runner at third.
But it took a while for the Cardinals to turn it. Long throw back to shortstop. Back to first. In time to get Garrett.
Pedro looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Nice to see Pedro producing runs. RBI double today. And it'd be nice to see him produce when here off a left-handed pitcher. One of the things that he continues to work on in his development as a big league slugger, hitting off lefties. 1-1. 9 runs on 12 hits for the Cardinals. The Pirates now have 6. For the 1 run.
And as he stays around longer and longer, he will see more left-hand specialists in game-changing situations when the games are on the line. Late inning stuff. Pedro Alvarez will see a lot of left-hand specialists.
Pedro had a home run last night. It had been more than a month. I shouldn't say more than a month. I should say almost a month between home runs for Pedro before he drove that one out to deep center last night. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball right in there for a strike. And not only learning how to hit off left-handers, but the individual left-handers. For example, Trevor Miller's delivery, more of a slinging type delivery. You'll see guys who will go overhead. You'll see guys who will drop down from the side. So it's a matter of learning the individual pitchers as well in their deliveries. There's a sweeping breaking ball. It misses.
But they all have that sweeping breaking ball, no matter where they throw it from. That big sweeper against left-hand hitters.
Here comes the payoff pitch. Got it. Alvarez down on strikes for the second time today. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. On to the 7th inning at PNC Park. 9-1 St. Louis. Really great shots today from the AGH cam. Perfect Thursday afternoon, other than the score, 9-1 Cardinals. Andy LaRoche enters at third base. He'll hit in the 9 spot. And the new pitcher is Joe Martinez. Martinez has had limited duty. He's being brought up
from San Francisco originally in the Bowker trade that sent Javier Lopez to the Giants.
Martinez wearing Lopez's number. And a quick glance will tell you he looks like a young Javier Lopez. Younger version of him, but he's right-handed and Lopez lefty. Joe Martinez out of Boston College. Set to pitch to John Jay. And Jay, a little swinging bunt that will roll foul. So John Jay, he's got an interesting approach at the plate. Keeps his hands back and they're moving all the time. It's kind of an old school look, I think. See so many guys today that come up that have been taught hitting a certain way. And even when you look at kids in high school level, they all look like they hit the same way because that's kind of the way they're taught. Stand this way, taught how to load and taught how to do this and that. But Jay's got a different look to him.
Yeah, Stan Musial look. Not a bad look.
One thing you hate to see with young hitters, there's a bunch of robots out there. You see guys who hit stances where they're comfortable.
Well, there's been some bizarre stances over the years. Remember Dick McCullough for the Detroit Tigers? Even Milt May with a bat straight up in the air, way up over his head. Craig Counsell stretched out.
Rod Carew was a guy that I don't think he ever gripped the bat fully until he made contact with the baseball. Moved that bat around quite a bit. Pete Rose.
Willie Mays with that wide open stance.
That was kind of a fad for a while, I think, in baseball, where a lot of guys were trying that open stance and really exaggerating it. Jay goes down on strikes. One away for the Cardinals in the top half of the 7th.
Who's the guy, Cincinnati Reds first baseman? Hal Morris. Happy feet. His feet were moving all the time until contact.
Skip Schumacher swings the first pitch, bounces it to the right side. Jones will flip it on to Martinez, covering 2 away. So 2 outs quickly in the 7th for Joe Martinez.
Roberto Clemente way back away from home plate in the batter's box, but don't try to get him outside. He hit 350 every year.
Back when you played, there were fewer teams in baseball at the time, so you probably had a better opportunity to get to know everybody's individual stances.
Oh yeah, we had the video and the computers and everything, and just had it locked in. But you did. You had an idea because you were right. You faced them so much more often. So those guys, you're playing like 18 times a year. 3 trips in your ballpark and 3 trips into theirs. So it was almost computer-like in your mind after you were in the big leagues for 4 or 5 years. Okay, Tony Perez does this, likes this, doesn't like that.
Did you ever keep notes, or were they mental notes, or
never
write stuff down?
Well, the only time I wrote notes down was after the first 2 games of the World Series in Baltimore, and then I was going to pitch the 3rd game, and I left those notes in my locker in Baltimore.
They did you a lot of good there.
Yeah, really. Probably did me a lot of good by staying there, so I didn't overthink it. So the first game they had something like 15 singles. The next game they hit a bunch of home runs, or opposite of that each other. So I didn't know if it was a power team or a bunch of singles hitters. They were both very good.
Payoff. Grounder wide of third. Plus, at that time, they didn't have all the electronic media that we do today, where you can see teams from the other league. You probably didn't see them much.
No.
Didn't know much about them.
Saw them a little bit in spring training. That was it.
3-2 to Mather. Again, he bangs it foul.
They sit down and have a pregame meeting, and you really only had one meeting about the opposite team. That was the first game of a series. The pitcher that night would conduct a meeting, and you go, hey, play this guy to pull, play the other guy to hit the ball the opposite way. I'm going to pitch it. I'm going to try to crowd this guy. Basically, that was it.
And fouled away. And it's come to a point now where I know when the Padres were here, Tony Gwynn Jr. would go into a game, and he'd pull a card out of his back pocket that had all the hitters on it and where to play them. They had the abbreviations on the guy and where to play him, and it's just that easy now. And I think sometime in the future, I wouldn't be surprised to see more of that.
You see that big notebook that Dave Duncan has down in the dugout. I mean, there is information. Look how thick that thing is. And there's no blank pages in there. Trust me, that's a lot of information.
No pictures on that one?
No.
So you won't be reading it?
No, I won't.
Ball 4. Well, Mather aboard with 2 outs. But much of the game preparation was done just from past memory.
Yeah, from previous experience. And not only previous experience before the game, but previous experience of the previous pitch. You can learn a lot from what a hitter does, how he reacts to a pitch in terms of what you're going to try in the next pitch. And there are hitters who, they used to say, that would set a pitcher up, take a bad swing at a curveball, think, oh, he can't hit the curveball, and take the bad swing on purpose. And then you get the curveball and then knock it out of the ballpark. They used to accuse Willie Mays of that a lot, setting pitchers up.
So early in the count, he'd chase a pitch?
Yeah, look bad on a pitch, just wave at a pitch. Oh, I'm going to come back to that. That's going to go in the file. You come back to it, and then Willie Mays hits number 614 or whatever it might be.
1-1 to Albert Pujols. Albert today has scored 3 runs. He's been on base all 4 times. A single in the first inning. Home run in the 3rd, another home run in the 6th. And he was hit by a pitch back in the 4th and scored on a wild pitch. So Albert now 46th on the all-time home run list, tied with Andrew Jones and Duke Snyder with 407 career home runs. 41 this season, his 6th multi-home run game this season, his St. Louis club record 39th multi-home run game. Take a look at the cold hard blast brought to you by Coors Light. Here's blast number 1. Drove in 2 in the 3rd after Schumacher had walked. And here's blast number 2. That made it over the Clemente wall in right field. That's the cold hard blast times 2, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. To center field, McCutcheon makes the grab, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch at PNC Park. 9-1, St. Louis with the lead. Pirates. These kayaks are multiplying out there.
That's the way to have an afternoon with a kayak. Now that looks good.
There's no goalpost on one. There's no Elmo on the other.
Red thing.
Bill is batting right-handed. Takes a strike. 0-1 to Doman. He walked in the second, popped out to second in the fourth. And hits one on the ground left side. Backhanded, stopped by Green. He throws across, and that'll not be close. And did it go out of play?
Yes.
It did, so Doman will get second base.
Getting an error. Nice drive by Green. He does a heck of a job stopping this ball, but then he doesn't even come close to Albert. Albert's not going to get involved with that program. Nor should he. You start reaching in the face of a runner coming at you for that throw. 9-1 game. Live to fight another day.
John Bacher, the hitter now. John hit into a double play in the second inning and then flied out to right. He's 0 for 2. Looking to make an impact here. 3 for 3 with a home run last night. Had a couple of runs batted in. Well, in Toronto, the only other game going on in the big leagues this afternoon. Blue Jays trying to wrap it up. They're at the top of the ninth inning. 1-0 the lead. A couple of notes from that game. We've told you already today, but they're definitely worth repeating. See Jason Mott get up and start to loosen for the Cardinals. Ichiro has a couple of hits today. He's now over 200 hits for the season, and that's 10 straight years with 200 or better hits for Ichiro. Could be, I think it's a lock. He'll be heading to Cooperstown. And Jose Bautista, that one run, that's his. That's a home run. His 50th of the year. First guy in majors to get to 50 this year. Who knows? He might be the only guy unless Albert heats up. Albert needs 9 more to get to 50. Two balls and 2 strikes. Miller's pitch to Bacher. Side. 3-2 is the count. Bacher fouls it back, stays alive. Also, Steve, there is a report out today concerning Stan Kasten, the president of the Washington Nationals, saying that he is going to step down as president of the ball club after this season.
He's the guy that ran the Braves for so long with John Sherholz. They were quite a tandem down there. It's final now. Toronto holds on 1-0.
Bacher down the left field line. And this ball foul. Baseball wasn't the only thing that Stan Kasten was involved in. Remember, he was the general manager of the Atlanta Hawks a number of years ago in the NBA. He knows his way around pro sports.
Well, he can hang his hat on his managerial hire down in Atlanta with Bobby Cox.
3-2 pitch again. Bacher takes outside, ball 4. Pirates with 2 men on and nobody out for Ronnie Cedeno. Cedeno 1 for 2.
Here's Tony.
Well, the good news about Tony coming out here is he's not going to see the home plate umpire, which means he's not making a double switch. So he's just going to make a straight change, which is a little easier on the scorebook. Because when you keep score against the Cardinals,
by 8 runs. But, Tony's going to go to the bullpen for the 3rd time. Jeff Suppan went the first 5, giving up a run, and Salas, Miller, an inning plus, and now Jason Mott. One of those games. 4 pitchers for the Cardinals, 6 so far for the Pirates.
Cedeno goes after a high one. Ronnie had a base hit in the 5th, trying to stretch it for 2. Matt Holliday threw him out. Cedeno hits in 4 straight games now for the Pirates. Pirates winners of 5 straight. Looking at the other end of one right now on the bottom of the 7th, down by 8 runs. 2 on, nobody out. Pitch inside by Mott.
97 miles an hour.
He cranked it up there. Mott is a converted catcher. And had been coming out of the bullpen last year. I remember when the Pirates opened against St. Louis at Busch Stadium. It was Mott that gave up the game-winning hit on opening day. The Pirates would win that ball game. And there was a lot of talk about him being the long-term closer, perhaps, for the Cardinals, who were still really searching for someone to step up and take that role. Well, it didn't really work out for him. He's still been a late inning guy out of the bullpen, but he never has emerged as the top closer candidate for Tony La Russa's Cardinals. One, 2 to Cedeno. A looper into left center, base hit.
Stations, please.
Okay. The bases are full of Bucks with nobody out. Cedeno's second base hit. Gomez down to 3rd, Bonker to 2nd.
All Green could do is look as Ronnie just kind of gets a little piece of that ball off the top of the bat and on the handle. Nothing Tyler Green could do. Just enough carry.
And Gomez having to freeze there, unable to move up. Green got to the ball.
Yep.
So the base is full. Here's Andy LaRoche.
Well, let's hit for about 20 minutes.
Andy's due for one. 1-2. Inside corner for a strike.
This is not much fun. Sitting around all day in the warm afternoon sun, and then hey, get a bat, go up and hit against this guy throwing 97.
Andy has 1 hit in his last 25 at bats, so he's due. And the pitch. That's strike 2. Andy finds himself behind. Ross trying to make contact here against Jason Mott. McCutchen is on deck. Pirates trying to make some noise in the 7th. Andy takes ball 1. That's been a tough year for Andy. Opened up as the starting 3rd baseman. Once Pedro Alvarez got on the scene, Andy's playing time has severely diminished. He has worked out at 2nd base. He's played in games at 2nd. Even at 1st base, and recently was working out at shortstop. And Andy fouls this one away. And after all the work he had been doing in the middle infield, finds himself playing 3rd base, replacing Alvarez last inning. Andy has been a champion in the community this year. Pirates recipient of the Roberto Clemente Award. Did a lot of work with kids with Down syndrome this year. Often had them as guests at the ballpark. Strike 3 called. Andy doesn't agree. Pitch looked like it was outside. So LaRoche goes down on strikes with the bases full. Now there's 1 out. So Mott gets a strikeout. Now McCutchen try to move the base runners along. Andrews 0 for 2 today with a walk. Takes a strike. Again, outside, right on that corner.
Not too much subtlety from Mr. Mott. A lot of heat.
McCutchen has hit safely in 13 of his last 16 games. Base is full, 1 out. 9-1 Cardinals. The pitch. 1-1. Kutch hit his 6th career leadoff home run on Sunday against the Diamondbacks. And that puts him 4th in club history in leadoff home runs. He's one behind Bob Bailey and climbing on that list.
Beetle Bailey. That's a name out of the past.
There you go.
One of their teammates.
2-1.
He's from that Southern California area. That Poly, either he or Tommy Sis, one of the Pirate bonus babies from Cal Poly out there.
San Luis Obispo?
No, just Cal Poly.
Cal Poly. Okay.
Was that the town that it's in?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to let you pronounce it.
Well, they have a few others, but that's probably the best known one. There's Pomona also. Pitch fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's a Hurricanes fan. He's heading across the parking lot after we get through here.
They're saying it's all about the U. They'll watch their man. Their man Jacory call the signals tonight against the Pitt Panthers. A college football game right across the street. 2-2. Fouled back. Miami is still licking their wounds after Ohio State kicked them around a little bit. So the Canes come calling to Pittsburgh.
Still a big time program. That's all about the U.
2-2 to McCutchen. 3-2.
I think it was Jim Kelly that went down to Miami from East Brady High School. Up around Dorncheck, our radio engineer's neighborhood. Check commune up there with Dad. Mel Check, longtime engineer, KDK, and a lot of the sports venues here in Pittsburgh.
3-2 lifted, fouling out of play.
I think Dorn is teaching. Dorncheck, our regular engineer, is a full-time teacher, and his sister Cindy working the board over at the radio side. Bob and Greg. Quite a family in that industry.
They do excellent work.
There's Cindy up and back. Bob and Greg.
Cindy babysitting today. This one up in the air to right field, fairly deep. Jay looking at the wall. He'll make the catch there. Dolman will tag and score. Ooh, inches away from a real big hit. 9-2, the sacrifice fly. RBI number 55 for Andrew McCutchen as Dolman comes across.
And the Cardinals will make that trade every time. Cuts into their lead, but it's still a 7-run lead.
Walker goes down to third. Runners at the corners now. Andrew, for a moment, thought he might have this one off the wall.
Yeah, there's a little carry out to just about every direction of the outfield, but not quite enough.
Those are your base runners. Pirates still with an opportunity. 2 down, bottom of the 7th, 9-2. Remember the Cardinals last night in the 8th inning scored 3 runs, another one in the 9th, and the Pirates trying to get into the Cardinal bullpen a little bit. For whatever reason, they've not had an answer for Jeff Suppan this season. And Tabata fouls it away. .403 with runners in scoring position. .484 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's in the hole 0-2.
I don't know whether that's an off-speed pitch for Mott at 93 or not. It's not an off-speed pitch for many pitchers.
I know. Well,
when he's throwing 98, though, it's a little something off that.
No balls, 2 strikes to Tabata. Jose trying to get Bowker in. Pirates trying to find a way to get back in this game. They still have outs to deal with and still have at bats at their disposal. Trying to make the most of them late in the ball game. 0-2. That's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tabata. Jose took part in the Sporting Clays Invitational on Monday up at Seven Springs. That was a new experience for him. There's a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Tabata. Pirates get 1 back on 2 hits, leave 2 on to the 8th inning at PNC. Great day at the ballpark. Pirates unfortunately trailing at this point 9-2. Pedro Siriaco gets a shot at shortstop today, and Alex Presley is in left field. And Randy Wynn batting in a pinch hitting role. Grounds out to Walker. So 1 pitch, 1 away as Martinez gets him quickly here in the 8th. Mark Hamilton will come up and bat for the pitcher, Jason Mott. Hamilton took over for Albert Pujols last night. Another September call-up. Along with Steve Blass, Tim Neverett here at PNC Park. 9-2. That's our score here in Game 3. Pirates took the first 2 games after sweeping the Diamondbacks. 3 more opportunities to see the Pirates here at PNC Park this season. Take a look at the road ahead, brought to you by your Western Pennsylvania Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward. As we move forward, we look to tomorrow night against the Astros, and then Saturday night against the Astros, and then Sunday afternoon a 1:35 start. Myers and McDonald, Norris and Duke, and then Jay Happ and Paul Maholm. 2-1.
Brett Myers, he's had an interesting year. He's got that record going of 6 or 6+ innings for a tremendous number of consecutive starts.
It's been amazing.
You want to be consistent? Throw at least 6 innings every single start. At least 6.
2-2 right out in front of the plate. Domit calling for it. 2 outs. 2-3 goes to put out. Hamilton is gone. The hitter will be the third baseman, Dan Descalso. Well, the Cardinals dealt with some harsh criticism from a former Cardinal earlier in the week. Jack Clark was on a radio show in St. Louis and called this group of Cardinals quitters.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
And here's a quote. It says, quote, "I'm really tired of watching the effort, that's for sure. I'm seeing a pathetic effort. These Cards fans deserve much better." And Domit throws it into right field. Should have been the third out. Domit's throw went wide. And that'll be scored a base hit for Descalso, and he's got a 4-hit afternoon.
You check out how he's running down the first baseline, because guys like this, sometimes you can just kind of cheat a little bit, fudge your line, and try to create a throw that's wide of first base. You see him out there? See, he's trying to force Ryan Domit to throw it wide, and that's exactly what happened.
We did see an interference call on the last road trip with a base runner running down the first baseline. I believe it was New York. And the base runner had a foot on the grass and forced a wide throw, and they called him out on a runner's interference call. First time we'd seen that.
We used to try crazy stuff on bunts. I remember bunting the ball down the first baseline, running there, trying to cheat a little bit, and trying to think of what's going on in backing and throwing your arms up the air, see if you could hit you in the arm with a ball. How ridiculous is that? That's what we used to try to do.
Ground ball to short. Siriaco flips to Walker. Gets the third out of the inning. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Tomorrow, 6:30. Coverage begins with the Trip Total Media Pirates pregame show. Same for Saturday night. Bud Norris and Zach Duke. Duke's final start at home in 2010. And same for Paul Maholm. They'll take on Jay Happ on Sunday. 1 o'clock coverage begins right here on FSM. John Jano moves over to left field. Tony La Russa has made some changes. Randy Wynn remains in the ball game and will play right field. New first baseman as well. Alan Craig has taken over at first. And here's Dennis Reyes, the left-hander on the hill, facing Neil Walker. Walker 2 for 3 today. There's Alan Craig. Started Game 1 of this series Tuesday night in right field. Strike called, says Laz Diaz. So Reyes gets the strike. Well, Dennis Reyes gets a lot of appearances, doesn't he?
He does.
Left-handed specialist. It's Walker to pop up foul. And the only left-handed hitter in 2 seasons to get a home run off him is the young right fielder for the Atlanta Braves, Jason Hayward. The J-Hay Kid, they call him in Atlanta. Other than that, you have to go back to the 2008 season. The last time Reyes gave up a home run to a left-handed hitter. 1-2 coming to Walker. Smile. Group photo. This one will be over by the dugout and over. Now, I'm just wondering if he shouldn't change T-shirts with his son. When was the last time you saw a grown man wearing a Cookie Monster T-shirt?
I'm going to tell you one thing. He's big enough to wear whatever he wants. That can looks like a thimble in his hand.
Well, we've seen Cookie Monster and Elmo today. This one in play to the right side. First baseman Craig makes the catch. Walker is gone here in the 8th.
We used to have a little thing in between innings. You vote on your favorite song. They do little clips of songs. C for Cookie by the Cookie Monster had a streak of unbelievable wins.
Really?
True story.
Do you remember how it goes?
C is for Cookie. Something like that.
I just threw the bait out there and you just took it.
Yeah. Well, you try to be a good partner. That's what you try to do.
One ball, no strikes to Garrett Jones. Jones 1 for 3 this afternoon, and he rolls one to the right side. Schumacher will throw him out. 2 away quickly in the Pirate 8th. Now the pitcher's spot comes up. And hitting for the pitcher Joe Martinez will be Argenis Diaz. The Duchess rolling down the river. It's part of the scenic beauty of this area.
It's hard to believe, Tim, that a lot of years ago, this whole riverside in back of right field here was a mess. I mean, deserted barges tipped up on their sides and litter. It's a remarkable, remarkable job what has happened on the North Shore. Remarkable. A lot of people having a lot to do with it. You don't want to get into names because you might leave somebody out. But and the possibility has always been here. I mean, the setting itself lends itself to being creative. And well, when it got going, it just got real nice. Got real nice. And now it's up and down. It's all the way down to the west end, toward the West End Bridge. There's a lot of work that's been done.
Diaz up in the air, foul ground. Alan Craig with the catch. And Reyes has himself a quick 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. We move to the 9th next. A whole lot more. Make sure to tune in to Inside Pirates Baseball Saturday at 6 on FSN. Andrew McCutchen hoping to provide some offense if he can get around again in the ninth inning. Pirates have a way to go to get there, however. Dolman, Bacher, and Cedeno. But first, the top of the ninth, and a new pitcher is on. Left-hander Justin Thomas.
Pitcher number 7 on the afternoon. After Brian Burris started, struggled, left in the third. Then a parade of bodies out of the Pirate bullpen.
So Thomas is on. He gets set to face Tyler Green. Green, the shortstop, hitting .213. Get a look at what the lineup cards look like in a late September game. They're pretty worked on there.
A lot of personnel.
Everybody highlighted in red has been in the game, taken out.
Looks like the handiwork of Jeff Bannister, bench coach. He handled all his responsibilities, keeping track of who's been used and who has not been used.
There's Jeff standing by his post. Oh, and 2 to Tyler Green, and the pitch just inside. Well, that's quite a feat by Ichiro today. And again, it's a 1-0 Toronto win, but Ichiro with 2 hits ties the major league record set by Pete Rose. 10 straight years of 200 hits or more. And Rose had passed Ty Cobb. Cobb had that for 9 straight years and set that mark in 1924. Pete Rose actually a little older than Ichiro, and he set the mark. Ground ball to second. And Walker throws him out, 1 away. Rose was 38 when he did it. Cobb was 37. Ichiro will be 37 on October 22nd, playing in just his 10th major league season. It took Pete Rose 17 big league seasons to get there.
Remember all the stories about Ty Cobb? He's a very cranky man. Cranky.
Played the game hard. And I'm sure some of those stories about him have been exaggerated. You know, maybe he did, maybe he didn't sharpen his spikes before games.
Makes for a great story, though, doesn't it?
Sure does.
He didn't play the game any harder than Mr. Rose played it. Pete Rose played it the way it's supposed to be played also.
Pitch to John Jay is up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Jay struck out swinging in the 7th.
Some great years of baseball between the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates through the years, especially the decade of the 70s. Very good baseball.
Well, how do you think Ichiro would have done had he played his whole career in the big leagues here?
Oh. Huh.
I mean, where would he be in terms of challenging Pete Rose for the all-time hits lead?
He'd be right in the neighborhood.
3-1 to Jay. Even though that game was in Toronto at Rogers Center, Ichiro got a standing ovation from the Blue Jays crowd. Base hit to center field by John Jay. Well, Jay is aboard. That's one place the Pirates get to go next year in interleague play is Toronto.
They'll never forget how Joe Carter lit him up in the Sky Dome.
Aaron Miles gets an at-bat here in the 9th inning. Miles hitting for Schumacher, and he'll go out play second base more than likely in the bottom of the 9th. Well, Joe Carter lit up a lot of teams.
Yeah. Yep. Lit up Mitch Williams.
He did. Back-to-back World Series champs there. Down the left field side, and this ball will be into the seats. Just hooked on Miles. The scramble is on. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. One and one to Miles. Number foul. So the Pirates, after today's game, will say so long to the Cardinals, but not goodbye, as they will face them again starting Monday in St. Louis. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Meet me in St. Louis.
And down to Miami for 4 to wrap up the 2010 season. So even though the Pirates will be wrapping up the home portion of the schedule, still 7 more to go after Sunday. And 10 more to play after today. Today is game number 152. Shot foul over the first base dugout. Remember last year the Pirates did not play 162 games.
One
short because a late season game in Chicago was rained out. It was a getaway day game. Both teams were out of contention at that point in time, so it was never made up. So both the Cubs and Pirates played 161 last year. Aaron Miles having a little foul ball fest.
But the nice thing is how it works with your salary. You still get paid for 162.
Yeah, well, it wasn't your fault it rained.
That's right.
This time it's going to be in play to shallow center field. Everybody converging. McCutcheon not going to catch it.
Got leather on it, I think, and the ball just jumped sideways. Out there in no man's land. And a little rough landing. Up in the air.
That hit him in the chest.
I think it came off the glove. Bounced off his chest right around the number, right around the 22.
Yep. Oh, glove. That's a good shot there. Kudos to our crew who does such a fine job all season long.
You get the shots, don't they?
They do. Got some great pictures again today. Our crew here undefeated. Haven't lost a game yet.
That was a change up there.
Braving the harsh conditions today, too. Beautiful summer day.
But they can tell you some stories when they have. You can bet your life on that. Not only in baseball, but they've done some football.
Well, I'm sure some of these guys have done some playoff games late in the NFL season when the weather conditions haven't been ideal.
Yeah, that sleeting rain that goes sideways. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the great shots all season long.
To second base, Walker to Siriaco for 1. Flips on to first. Nice play by Pedro Siriaco. And the Pirates pull off the double play.
We've heard that he can do it and do it that well.
Siriaco getting a chance to play some defense. And some on-field acrobatics by the newly acquired shortstop.
2-2 Cardinals, but a gorgeous late summer, early fall afternoon, however you want to say it. And look at Mr. Siriaco, the acrobat, up in the air. It's not easy to throw a ball that hard when your legs are not attached to the ground. When you're up, all you got left is arm, and what you're seeing here is a lot of arm on our AGH cam. They catch it nicely.
Ryan Dolan hits this one pretty well to straightaway center field. And backing up is Mather. He'll make the catch for out number 1 in the bottom of the 9th.
With Kyle McClellan coming on to put the lid on it for the Cardinals, as they'll most likely salvage 1 game out of the 3-game set. Pirates won the first 2.
Well, if this stands up, the Pirates will end up going 5-1 on this portion of the homestand with 3 to go. Can really come away with a positive final homestand. They can win the series with the Astros, take 2 of 3, maybe sweep them. Still a pretty good effort here at home. Bonker flies to center. And Mather has that one, and the Bucks down to their final out this afternoon. Post-game show right after this, the AGH Sports Medicine Pirates post-game show. Rob King and Kent Tecalvi in studio. We'll give you a solid breakdown of this one. Here comes Pedro Siriaco. See what Siriaco can do. Been impressive with his bat. 2 for 3 so far for the Bucks. .667, good average, but his 2 have been extra base hits. He's had a triple, in fact, a triple in his first major league hit, and a double. Got in the bat last night, made an out. But that does happen to hitters occasionally. They make outs. Siriaco pulls it foul.
He's kind of made his name early in his pro career, though, with that glove, and you could get a little example of that with the acrobatic turn, the pivot at second base to get the double play in the top half of the 9th inning.
Siriaco, a highly regarded prospect from the Diamondbacks. And he strikes out. Throw down. Ball game over. So 6 pitches of work for Kyle McClellan. And that does it for today, as the Pirates drop the 3rd game but win the first 2 of this 3-game series. Are indeed 5-1 after the first 6 games of this homestand.
Yeah, this one got started with Brian Burris not being able to continue his run of good starts, 3 in a row, but today it just didn't work for the left-hander. And then the bullpen got involved, and the Cardinals kept on trucking.
Our next broadcast of Pirates baseball on FSN Pittsburgh tomorrow night as the Bucks welcome in the Houston Astros for the final home series of the year at PNC Park. Look forward to that. Our coverage begins with the Trib Total Media Pirates pregame beginning at 6:30. Then Greg Brown and Bob Walk will have the call at 7. Once again, our final score here today, 9-2, Cardinals win it. For Steve Blass and our entire crew, I'm Tim Neverett, reminding you to stay tuned. The AGH Sports Medicine Pirates postgame begins right now.